AITA for kicking a friend out of my house for what she said. For the sake of privacy, I'm writing this on my phone and it'll be short and sweet. I invited 2 female friends over earlier today to watch a game and catch up since social distance restrictions have been loosened a bit in my neighborhood. We're all in our early 30s, and because we're all women. One of my pals, let's call her A, has been going through a rough patch the last several years. Tragically, she lost her husband last year. He died while serving the military, and tragedy struck again a few months ago when her 6-year-old son died from cancer. To put it mildly, she had been and continues to be depressed, and this was the first time she had felt like going out since her son's passing. B, my second friend, is quite traditional and religious, while friend and I are not religious at all. However, our differing points of view have never been a source of contention, and we've gotten along perfectly well with B since we met her 4-5 years ago, and we want to continue to do so. Friend B has suggested the benefits of religion to us a few times in the past, but she has always rejected the subject when we have shown little interest in learning more about it. Due to the fact that she was not unduly vehement about her ideas, neither friend nor I had any ill will against her. Then we can discuss about what occurred this morning. We were listening to friend A pour out her heart and doing all we could to comfort her while also offering a shoulder to cry on ourselves. The friend wailed, "I don't know what I did wrong in my life to deserve to lose her husband and child." Buddy B answered very immediately, "Rest assured, that is the case. God punished you as a result of your refusal to embrace God and the Bible as part of your life. Is it possible to hold him responsible?" Friend A couldn't help but gaze at her in disbelief. I completely botched it. When I saw her, I yelled at her, saying that what she had said was very improper and harsh. Then I got up, opened the front door, and told her to leave my house and not to contact me again for the rest of her life. Although she sought to backtrack and explain that she wasn't intending to be harsh, I wasn't having any of it. Again, I yelled out loud, "Please leave my premises immediately. Please don't make me throw you away like trash." She groaned and turned to walk away. Brenda was crying at this point, but she expressed gratitude to me. We continued to converse, and she soon became calm. Looking back, I see that I could have handled the situation more effectively. Neither Brenda nor I were expecting Buddy B to say anything as outrageous as that. I'm not sure whether I responded too quickly or not. AITA. Edit. I had no idea this would go viral as quickly as it did, and I'm appreciative for all of the comments, messages, and compliments that have come my way. I'd want to explain why I feel I may have responded inappropriately. I've always considered myself to be welcoming and appreciative of other people's points of view and thoughts, and I still do, no matter how extreme. In this situation, I was forced to behave in a way that, in my perspective, did not reflect well on me as a tolerant person, since I did kick someone out of my house for saying something I thought was wrong, but which was nevertheless a part of their belief system. This is why I requested feedback from Redditors, since I am plainly unable to be neutral in this situation. Thank you very much to everyone for their ideas. Update. Since the incident occurred a few weeks ago, I'll start by adding that ex-friend B did not apologize to friend A for what she said. In reality, she hasn't contacted either of us since then, and we haven't contacted her. Unfortunately, B's statements from that day had a strong impact on friend A. She grappled with survivor guilt and questioned her upbringing/lifestyle, religious beliefs, and so forth. She increased the frequency of her treatment appointments, and I spent my leisure time keeping her company. I went over to her house a few of weeks ago and found her reading a Bible and almost compulsively marking passages. She said that she was doing research to determine the veracity of what B had told her. She began reading portions and interpreting them for me. This conduct bothered me, so I recommended she discuss it with her therapist. It was the only thing I could think of to help calm her down. She did consult with the therapist, who advised she speak with a priest instead of attempting to come to her own conclusions. She requested me to accompany her, which I did, but she instructed me to simply wait for her at the church while she spoke privately with the pastor. She afterwards said that she felt better and was more certain that B was lying. She also seemed calmer, so I assumed the chat had helped her. I visited at her home on Friday, and she informed me that she is still thinking about what was said, and that, although she feels much better after speaking with the pastor, he is just one person, and what if he is wrong? I attempted to soothe her and go through her emotions again, but I could see it was still bothering her. I had a hunch she'd go downhill again. Then I had a thought. I informed her about the Reddit post I created and explained why how it works and so on. She isn't a Reddit member. I went back to my original article and urged her to read the comments so she could see how hundreds of people, both religious and non-religious, felt about what was stated. We spent the evening reading each remark. She sobbed, she smiled, she was amazed and touched by the outpouring of love and comfort from strangers. As we read, I could see she was becoming more and more relieved. She has been in a lot better mood since then, so seeing hundreds of people disagree with B's statements had a beneficial effect on her. So, dear Redditors, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your nice words and comfort to my buddy. She has a long road ahead of her in this mourning process, but she is determined to persevere. Story 2. AITA for not wanting to move from my airplane seat to another one that is more socially distant from a couple. As a result, I boarded an aircraft and sat in the window seat that had been allocated to me by the airline. A couple seated in the center and aisle seats had to stand up to make way for me in order for me to get there. When boarding is complete, the lady seated next to me turns to face me and informs me that I am welcome to choose another seat if I so like. Clearly, the translation was, "Please relocate," so that I may be more comfortable, and this did not set right with me at all. Then I tell them that I haven't slept well and they give me a window seat so that I can rest my head on the window wall. She assures me that nothing is a problem. Her partner then says something passive-hostile that is ostensibly addressed at her, but is really intended for me a few seconds later. He remarks something to the effect of, as if the row just behind us doesn't have an empty window seat, in a loud voice and a furious tone. When I look around, I see that a large number of rows do indeed have vacant window seats. When I became irritated and uncomfortable, I began to question myself and wonder whether I was being a complete jerk for remaining still. At the same time, I believe that relocating is something that should be done on one's own initiative, and that I should not be forced to do so, and that it is not their right to force me to do so. Because they are so concerned with social distance, I reason that they should split apart for the length of the 3-hour trip, rather than forcing me into moving by issuing phony niceness commands or making snide comments. My discomfort and awkwardness increased dramatically, and I determined that they should be placed in a similarly unpleasant posture. As a result, I turned to face them and observed, "You both seem to be uncomfortable. However, only after you have obtained permission from the flight attendant would I agree to you relocating." The girlfriend becomes uncomfortable and says, "It's okay, you can remain," but the boyfriend responds, "Okay, I'll speak with the flight attendant when she comes by." He found himself in a difficult situation, because if he did, that he would come off as strange for asking for me to be relocated, and he would run the danger of being labeled a racist since I'm brown. So he just opted not to do it, and we sat together for the remainder of the plane ride. I was concerned that getting caught up in the emotions of the moment could have impaired my ability to make sound decisions. AITA,